What's the worst nice guy experience you've ever had? Someone was my friend, and they were around me at parties and stuff. I got super drunk at one, and I was supposed to feel safe there. What he didn't know is that I heard him saying, as he put me into his friend's car, "She's going to be easy tonight," to said friend. The friend was a gentleman, and he laid me in his bed and then went to get his Nintendo Switch, sat on the floor, and I woke up in time to see him playing, and we became best friends. Thankfully, he never tried anything, and I cut the other guy out of my life. Lost one of my friends on a crazy night out in an unfamiliar city, not picking up her phone. We looked for her for over an hour in a half-mile radius. Finally, we got a call from a nice guy from the bar and who allegedly saw her wandering alone and had brought her to his apartment, heard her phone blow up, and called me back. She was indeed asleep on his couch. We thanked him, packed her up, and went on our way. A couple days later, he called me again to ask me on a date. I politely declined. I had a boyfriend at the time, but would have said no regardless. That was apparently unacceptable, and he told me I owed it to him for not raping my friend when he had the chance. Literally, he told me he could have done whatever he wanted to her and didn't need to call me at all, and it was the least I could do to thank him. I let him know that you don't get a trophy for not raping someone. He cussed me out and went on about how he's a veteran and how dare I and blah blah blah. I hung up and blocked him. Entitled creep. Oh my God, there was this guy who I would speak to on my commute. He was very awkward, and I made polite small talk, but really, I just wanted to read my book. Anyway, one day he comes up to me at the train station and says he saw me out with my husband and kids. He then went mental, accused me of leading him on, called me a slag, threatened to kill himself, broke down crying, begged me to leave my husband for him, then asked to no one in particular, why does this keep happening to him? Edit. For those of you that read this and thought she sounds like she could do with a dick pic, let me assure you, I don't. Be better. Hit it off with this one guy while out with friends. He was super sweet, said all the right things, and we were flirting for a while. Finally, I went to leave with a friend's car, banged on the window with his fists and asked, "Do you want to fuck?" Before I could even roll the window down, I said no, started to roll the window up, and he put his fingers in it, so I couldn't. Just stood there with an angry face for a while, called me a bitch and stomped away. I once went out with a nice guy named Matt who said he loved soft girls with deep thoughts. Seemed poetic. Big mistake. On our date, he took me to this weird coffee shop with no menu because real connoisseurs know what to ask for. He then ordered for me without asking because he could tell what kind of girl I was. He kept calling me kitten the entire time. I had never given him a nickname to use. He asked if I like guys who cry, and when I said sure, I think it's healthy, he launched into a rant about how women say they want sensitivity but always go for jerks. My friend group was out dancing, and we talked to a group of men one of us knew. I met them for maybe 30 seconds in a dark club and went right back to dancing with my friends. One of those men asked a friend for my number, and he stalked me for 3 years. The Norwegian police took him to court, and he was still messaging me from new numbers, telling me we were made for each other until he was sentenced. Joined a gaming group, slowly started to speak to someone and make a close friend. 3 months went on. Eventually he said he liked me. I said I didn't feel the same. He took it well and said he was happy to remain friends. We had exchanged Christmas cards before it all went to hell, so he knew where I lived. Then the little quips of intensity started, until he was calling me 50 times a day. All day, every day needed to stay in contact. Slowly chats turned to harassment every day, making up stories of things I hadn't done, berating me and blowing up if I didn't reply within a 30-second window. I tried to cut him off, but then it would make it 10x worse to where he was screaming to everyone that he was going to kill himself if I don't speak to him. I was only 18 at the time. It was easier to just keep the peace than to try and get away. Then the gift started, sending things to my house, turning up at my house multiple times a week, even though he lived 300 miles away. He told everybody a completely different story to what he was actually doing to make himself look better and come out on top. It only stopped when I contacted the police. His entire family still blame me. Date with a local guy while I was home for the summer, living abroad many years ago. He was nice/cute, but trying a bit too hard and wanting to move really fast. I think I was 25 at the time and not imminently ready for marriage. After 2 dates, I just wasn't feeling it as he was love-bombing me with all kinds of crazy, lavish gifts, AirPods, expensive alcohol that I liked, etc. He had some money, but wasn't crazy wealthy or anything from the beginning. When I declined a 3rd date, he started sending the gift packages to my mom's house and always included a love note about how much he liked me and how desperately he wanted me to come over to his place for dinner sometime. The craziest was the last gift, which included 2 concert tickets to see Bon Iver in the European city I was currently living, saying how he would fly out and come to the show with me. Needless to say, I did not go, and the concert ironically ended up being canceled by the artist. Guess it was never meant to be. And he promptly blocked me on all social media after that, LOL.